grade 11, next activity. Here we have question 1 on page 198. And these are written questions. Which of the following components is not used to display a table? Well, the T-ADO connection is to connect to the table, so that is the correct answer. So I will just sign that that is correct. Well, let's just use a tick, shall we? That one. That's not used to display. The DB grid is for displaying. The table is to connect to the data source to display. So connection is just to connect the actual database itself to a data module. Which of the components best describes the relationship between the database and the Delphi database components? Well, let's say database, data source connection, no, database connection, table, data source, this one. This is the correct one, number D. Because you get a database, and then you have your ADO connection component, then you have your ADO table component, then you have your data source, and that goes connected to the grid. The grid is in the program itself. The database grid is in your actual program, Delphi program. So all of these other components can be in a data module. The database is outside of Delphi altogether. Connection brings it connected to Delphi. And then the connection is connected to a table, and the table is connected to a data source. And then we have the grid. So that's a nice question. This one could have been right, but these two had to be swapped around because the data source is connected to the grid. Basically, it's saying you can't have a data source connected to a connection component. And you can't have a table connected to the database straight away. And it doesn't start with a data source. It starts with your database. Then you have your ADO, it's called ADO connection component. Then you have an ADO table component. Then you have a data source component. And then the grid, which is the database grid on Delphi program. Okay, which line below can be used to change the value of the age field of the record to 5? Well, obviously this one, You've got the age field in inverted commas equals 5, because that is not correct. If age is an integer, then it'll be fine, because there's an integer over there. Okay, what is the first step you need to follow when stepping through data from a database in your application? Okay, to step through data in a table, go to the first record. Yeah, okay. Read the fields. No. Move to no. This is the first step. Select the first record of the table. So you say tbl.first, ADO or tbl, whatever it's called, .first. And that is the first step. Right, so that's it. That's all for that question 1.